Okay, hey Kenzie, welcome back.
Hi, it's so nice to be back chatting with you. I'm so excited for today.
I agree. I am so excited to be talking about this. I'm so excited to see you. How is your night going?
Yeah, it's going good. It's going really good. I'm just hanging out with my dog. What are you up to? I know. What are you up to tonight?
I just enjoyed some nice Hawaiian pizza. I'm sitting here cozy in a corner of my room, and I'm really excited to talk about Ozempic. How is Maverick?
I'm really excited to talk about Ozempic with you as well. Maverick is doing wonderful. I can't wait for you to meet him. For all of the listeners who
Yeah.
are interested in behind the scenes, Kayla and I are figuring out our lives on how to record a podcast when you're not in the same room as the person and
Yeah.
how to troubleshoot. And it has been a really beautiful learning experience.
To say the least, we
To
have been
say the
just like
least.
learning and evolving for the last 40 minutes, or as Kenzie likes to call it, troubleshooting.
Oh God, I love calling it troubleshooting. Do you like calling it troubleshooting?
I just call it fucking around.
What do you mean? Use that in a sentence.
Like, I'm just fucking around trying to get this done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
I
Yep.
feel like yours is the more like professional business. Like, that's what you would send in an email versus how you would say to your friend.
Oh, I really am though. I I do think everything feels like a troubleshoot right now.
Well, I am sitting in my old bedroom at my parents' house, and yeah, it does.
My whole
Yeah, it
life is
does.
a troubleshoot,
Like,
honestly.
my computer is failing, my lens did crack, and my only pair of jeans just split today. So, yeah, it's a troubleshoot.
I'm so sorry. How are you doing with all of that?
Honestly, pizza.
Yeah, no, for
That's how
sure.
yeah. I'm just gonna say
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a limited amount of joys in our life, and pizza's 100% one of them.
Well, I
Absolutely.
mean, we are in the Canadian snow, so cheers to us.
I Yeah, seriously. Cheers to us. We do deserve pizza in the Canadian snow. I have been wondering about whether or not we were going to record this topic because it hits so close to home. And I'm so happy that you feel excited and comfortable to talk about it with everyone because this is such a fascinating topic. And you have, you're so good at articulating your story and the stuff that we learned for researching before the podcast was
Mm,
also fascinating. And
hmm
I'm really excited for this topic today. And I'm really excited for our listeners. I think that they're going to be, I think that this is a really, really, really interesting niche and corner of the world.
I'm really excited as well. And I'm excited that you wanted to go there, but I'm also extremely nervous. And I want to state that because, Kenzie, you are going to come here with such a wealth of information. So I'm stumbling on my words already because Kenzie was already like sharing great podcasts and resources and research. And she comes with the academic information. Like, she's coming through today. And me, as a body positive advocate who never thought she'd be on this side of things, is coming with a personal experience of admitting that she's on Ozempic. I am singing because I'm uncomfortable and never thought I'd be having this podcast.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. And I have so much confidence in this part of your life and part of your story. And I know that there's been like a lot of hesitations for you just being really nervous of your integrity and how people are
Yeah.
going to view this. And I am your biggest cheerleader. I will stand you until the end of time. Like, you are my idol.
Oh my God, you can't even, say that. I'm literally going to start
She's gonna
falling on the
cry.
spot. I'm like,
make Kayla cry in under 5 minutes.
I'm like,
On
I don't cry. Okay. Nothing wrong with crying. Go on.
Perfect. Just bottle that up. Just shove it down. Just seriously, just bottle that up and shove it down and order some
Okay.
more pizza later. That's what I do.
No, I got an extra large.
So we're good.
For later. Oh my God.
Aww.
When
For
your
those of
icon
you-
calls you an icon and you're just like, I gotta go, I can't finish this.
We're just like one of those, you know, that there's that photo of, I can't remember, it's like Will Smith and someone else. And they're like, when you just keep tossing compliments back and forth to you and your bestie. I feel like that's what this is right now. It's like we're living in a meme.
Please send that to me after this.
We are talking today about a drug called Ozempic.
Mm-hmm.
And it has reached headlines globally in the last few weeks for so many reasons. And it has been a bit of a topic of debate. And for those of you who don't know, Kayla is currently taking Ozempic. So we have a host here taking Ozempic, and we're going to talk to you today about Ozempic and what it's used for and what it's not used for. And when I was researching this today, I didn't realize that Ozempic started out as a drug for diabetes. I thought for sure it was just made for the weight loss industry.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah. So, like going on that, I'm like, where do we even start with this topic?
well, I think like starting it off with saying that Ozempic there is the brand, kind of like not the brand name, but this umbrella drug term, not a term, but like a drug name called semaglutide. And it is underneath that comes Ozempic, and then it comes Wegovy. People might have heard of Ozempic and Wegovy. They're very similar. They're of the same class of drug, but they're a little bit different and they're given differently, and they're not exactly the same. I think it's very similar to like different types of kind of similar to different types of antidepressants, where they kind of have different names. They're supposed to be doing the same thing, but they all kind of do something a little bit differently.
So I'll be really honest. When I was having this conversation with my doctor, so I have chronic back pain, and we're at the point now where we're like, you have to get weight off your back. This was the honest conversation we're having. And I brought up Ozempic because I have a friend who was on it, and he said, okay, well, let's consider Ozempic, Wellbutrin, and he was talking about Wegovy, and what other options there are. And now he did say that Ozempic isn't FDA approved yet for weight loss. And then he carried on to say that like it's going to be anyways. And that seems like a great choice. And that was my best option because some of the other options, given the medications that I'm on, just weren't for me. Like things like, for instance, Wellbutrin, which are an antidepressant. So there are different categories. And so my doctor said off label was the best for me, even though I do not have diabetes, which I know is controversial. And that's where the issue is going to come up. Weight loss versus diabetes.
Okay, so that to me, that's fascinating that a doctor was like, hey, even if this isn't FDA approved, it's going to be, and that's kind of good enough.
Yeah.
Did he sort of go through, do you feel comfortable with your doctor?
Yeah, I've had him for a few years now. He's really honest and really open with me. And when he doesn't feel comfortable in prescribing, he'll send me off for a referral.
And did he did he tell you what Ozempic was? Flat out, like, this is a drug for diabetics, but we are noticing that a big side effect is weight loss. So now we are prescribing it to people who have had difficulty losing weight or who are in a body where it would make most sense for that body to shed some weight. sorry, I don't even like that term. I don't even know.
Right? It's hard because in every context they're using the word obesity because of medical studies and because of BMI. So it's hard to even find the correct or the more like politically safe language to use in this context.
I think that Bird's Papaya actually uses I was going to just call her Sarah, but then I was like
Yeah.
people won't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody does cuz that name is like pretty iconic, but like Sarah, also known as the Bird's Papaya, she says it kind of, I remember her saying she was like releases, she uses that word when talking about like fluctuations in weight when she's like, "Oh, when my body releases weight." And I thought
Oh,
that
I've
that
never
was
heard that.
yeah, I thought that was really gentle and beautiful. So maybe I'll use that during this. But
Okay.
did your doctor did he walk you through what Ozempic was and what the side effects could be?
Yes and no. So he just honestly said that it'd be used for off label. And I believe he told me it was being used for diabetics, but that it does work for weight loss. And that since like Wellbutrin wasn't an option for me. So for me, I have a lot of issues with mental health. Shocking. But I'd
What?
used, I know, right? Like I've never showed up at CAMH Emerge. Um, but Wellbutrin put me there actually. And
Mm.
Wellbutrin's used for weight loss. So they were like, that is not an option for you. So Ozempic is going to be a great option. And that's this like there he was like, even though the studies haven't really proved it yet, people have seen a lot of success with weight loss. And he was like, you know what? That sounds great. Yeah, let's get you on that. Let's start at 25. Why don't you call me in 4 weeks? We'll see how you're feeling with it and we'll go from there. And so no, I didn't know the side effects because my friend had not had any. And this was before I knew that Kim Kardashian and Elon Musk and, you know, every celebrity and their mother was taking it and hosting Ozempic parties. I didn't realize it was a huge diabetic medication. Like I knew if you were pre-diabetic, you could take it. I didn't realize till I think it was yesterday, the day before, that if you were legitimately diabetic, you could be on it too. Because my mom and me got into a conversation. She's like, well, you know, I'm diabetic now, so I can take Ozempic too. And I was like, no, you can't. It's pre-diabetes. Anyways,
Mm.
I don't know why that was, I don't know where that was going, but
No,
you got one.
yeah. I think that it's really easy for us to just kind of like hear things in like the media or on TikTok and not get the full picture of it. And we kind of trust our doctors where we think that they would kind of tell us the story. Like, what is this drug? Where does it come from? What is it currently being used for? And what are the possible side effects? And it doesn't really sound like you had that full experience.
Okay, let's get really real about the side effects because I wish someone had told me them. I wish my friend had experienced any of them and told me them because I watched this person be like, this is great. Like, nothing's happening. Like, you know, this is going to help reduce my back pain. This is just going to, you know, get me on a better path right now. And I was like, this is just going to be the reset I need. It's going to help all my chronic health issues.
Mm.
No, I was bedridden for a week. Like, I literally felt like I had the flu. I had so much nausea. Literally, I bought the Costco sized pack of gravel. I have Gaviscon, Tums, Pepto Bismol. I had such bad heartburn. I still do. It's on the bed next to me right now. On top of that, it just literally felt like the flu constantly. And I was like, if this continues after the first week, I can't survive this. Like, no
Mm.
amount of weight loss is worth these side effects. And that's when I looked up the hashtag on TikTok, Ozempic. And then I realized it was viral on TikTok. And then I
Mm.
realized that people weren't being honest about how sick they were from the medication.
Mm. Oh, interesting. So the way that Ozempic works is that it basically we have these hormones that kind of get activated once food hits our small intestine, and Ozempic kind of acts as like a loud almost like loud chemical signal that tells our brain our meal has arrived. You can prime your body's system for digestion now. We're good. So for people who are in a chronic state of hunger, this was something that, like, from the research that I did, the doctors, like, I was really disappointed with a lot of the doctors, because the doctors did not put two and two together. They were like, for people who chronically feel hungry, this is a real, and I was like, why? Why do you think that people feel chronically hungry? And it is very obvious that there has been research that has been done, but it's not talked about that much, that dieting produces a brain that constantly feels like it's in a famine. And you get this hungry brain that the brain cannot be satisfied because it is constantly scared of scarcity. And we've seen that from kids who live with scarcity, with food scarcity when they're younger. When they're older, it's really hard for them to regulate their food. They might feel territorial over their food. They might feel like they have to eat a lot of it all at one point because or all in one moment, because otherwise it's going to be taken from them. We see this with people who've chronically dieted over 10 years, of people just feeling so hungry and not satisfied. And we've seen that in the Minnesota starvation experiment, which we'll do a full episode on, of these men who had been interviewed years after going through it. And they all said that there's like sort of this eternal hunger. That can't be satisfied. So anyways, Ozempic, kind of what it does is it kind of like, it's like a giant, it helps with those hormones to alert the brain to say like, hey, we've got a meal, we're good. But what happens is that you get side effects from that. And I don't think that I realized how bad the side effects were until you weren't texting me.
Yeah. I got so violently ill. Like I couldn't function a regular life, and I'm still coming back from it. Like I get scared every time I have to take a new dose, and that's once a week, and I take it on Wednesdays. And on Wednesdays I will take 4 Gravel immediately, and you can get migraines too, to make sure that I don't get side effects. But I went like a week or so not messaging anyone because I was so violently ill. I had to cancel work commitments, and like I don't ever do that. And there's a lot of digestive issues too. Like the other night I spent 2 hours on the toilet. I literally thought my intestines were falling out, and then I'm constipated for 4 days. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'm like, this is so much TMI. I'm like, so guys, I'm constipated and I have explosive diarrhea. I'm like, I don't know my own bowels anymore.
I am not home in my own body.
I mean, I always had IBS, but like, damn, this is a whole new level.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I can honestly, I feel for you. I do. I feel for you. I wish that I could just bung you up or just let you go whenever you need to. I do. That's true friendship right there.
Did your parents ever put the Gravel up your butt as a kid?
Literally never. Absolutely. Is that even real?
Yeah, my parents, like I didn't want to.
You mean an enema?
No, the suppositories. What do you call it? Like
Deposit?
when you won't take a pill in your mouth, and your parents are like, if you don't take that pill in your mouth, then we're gonna either have to put it up your butt or, give you a shot at the hospital.
What?
This is a real thing. When you said bung me up, that's what it made me think of. My mom used to put Gravel up my butt.
I think Kayla just admitted to child abuse, that she went through child abuse. So we'll cut that out of the podcast.
They do this after pregnancy too. Like after delivery.
To the baby.
To the mother. I'm going to send you some TikToks tonight.
No, I know that you can administer drugs orally or anally. I understand that. You can get really high off of administering drugs anally. But what I'm saying, I don't think that's a common household practice to tell your kids, okay, little Johnny, if you don't take this, then we're going to shove it up your ass. I've never Literally, I've heard of a lot of fucked up shit, and that honestly is getting put in the pocket of fucked up shit.
Okay, honestly, I may have exposed myself way too much. Let's continue on with the original conversation.
So Ozempic
Yes.
is and Wegovy. Oh, who comes up with these names? Like it's so weird. But Elon Musk basically gave a massive
Yeah.
endorsement to this drug. He went online and I guess looked slimmer. I'm not quite sure. I
Yeah.
personally don't actively body check Elon Musk, so
Yep.
I
Fair.
don't know, but I guess he looked slimmer and people were complimenting him. And he said thanks and people said, "What are you doing?" And he said fasting and they said good job and he said and also Wegovy. And it's like, okay, okay, well, that's a massive endorsement to have a weight loss, not a weight loss drug, but a drug that it's being used for weight loss,
Yeah.
to have an endorsement from this very popular 4chan billionaire.
A very powerful man. Yeah.
A
The
very, very,
owner of
very powerful man.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that I when I heard that, I got a little bit upset that this older gentleman who has so many resources for health and wellness,
Yeah.
like just has it is literally has every single resource known to mankind to be able to increase his wellness. And obviously for him that means weight loss. For you and I and for our community it doesn't necessarily. Whether weight loss happens as a byproduct, not our business. Our bodies will do whatever they will do. But this guy, I mean, Kayla, he could literally build a fucking entire gymnasium that's full of an obstacle course and he could run it with his dogs every day. He could go to therapy, he could do meditation, he could literally go
Mm-hmm.
to like some zen cave in the
Yep.
middle of Nepal and go and sit there with his eyes closed for a month and meditate. Like he could do so much. He could go and like volunteer and do things for his social wellness. Like he could do so much. And instead, what he's doing is he's not eating until noon and then taking a weight loss drug. Like to me, that sounds lazy.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I
Come at
mean,
me,
like,
Elon. Come at
but it's
me.
like, yeah, he does have all the resources in the world. Like, he could probably make food into a pill if he really wanted to. He has access to all chefs. Like, if he wanted to attain it in the like healthiest way, as people like to put it, he has the ability to do that. But I do think it became very trendy. Like apparently Andy Cohen was like bragging about how like every celebrity was like on this Ozempic, and Kim Kardashian used it to get into the Marilyn Monroe dress. So I wonder if it's just like having that access there, and it is easier. And, you know, they have doctors who are willing to prescribe it regardless of how much you weigh, regardless of whether you need it or not.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I guess that like leads us into the cost of Ozempic, which can be very expensive for some people.
Oh, shit. Okay, so these are the thoughts I've had. So when I was in the States, I looked into the price of Ozempic and it's over 1,000 USD a month. Now in Canada, I'm on only on 25 milligrams. That's the first dose. What they do is for 4 or 5 weeks, you go up by 25. And I think you go to 1 or 2 milligrams. Do not quote me on that. I do not know. But I also want to state that how Ozempic works too is that not only does it signal to the brain that you're full faster, but it also releases the digestion into your intestines slower, so you're full for longer too.
Mm.
So getting back to the price though, I paid around $250 for the 20.25 milligrams. And I heard at Costco I can get it for $215. Now I don't have any insurance. Now, I don't think insurance would cover it either because I don't have diabetes. So I'm not using it for its intended purposes. Therefore, I don't think insurance would even cover it. And
Sorry,
sorry.
you can get Ozempic at Costco.
Yeah, they got a pharmacy there. I think I need to get all my meds transferred there. You should get your stuff there too. Costco's got everything.
What the fuck?
Oh my God, you're so against capitalism. And I'm like, yeah, just go to Costco.
No, I know. And it's also the best. Like, trust me, just wait. Amazon is going to have their own pharmacy soon. I'm calling it.
Yo, but wait, is this just like us talking or is this on the podcast? I'm like, but we should be the same person.
I know.
Shit. Oh, I hate capitalism.
Oh, I hate capitalism.
But also, do you think it'd be cheaper? Because like my meds are like $400 a month.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, no, Costco's got a pharmacy and I just read it's like $15, $20 cheaper.
Wow. That everything is just, this is all fascinating.
Okay, but here's my thing though, okay? Because this is what scares me. I don't make a ton of money, okay? I'm not rich by any means here. So when I go up on doses and I'm already on very expensive medication that isn't Ozempic, how much more is each increase? Because we know the American rates, and I tried Googling the Canadian, and those are a lot harder to find.
I don't know how much. I didn't read about the increases of it, but the doctor that I listened to who talked about it, whether or not people are on it indefinitely, she skirted the fuck around that question.
Let's talk about that. Okay. They have to be. I was thinking about if you're a diabetic, you would be on it indefinitely. If you can gain the weight back the moment you go off it, then technically wouldn't you be on it indefinitely? If you're only trying to lose 10, 20, 15 pounds, you would gain that back immediately. So unless you're on it because you need to lose a significant amount of weight because you have like chronic health conditions and you know you're going to gain some of it back, or you're doing therapy and you're doing lifestyle changes with it, you're gaining the weight back or you never come off of it. I feel like you're never coming off of it.
Well, that's what she skirted around that. And she was like, well, you know, a drug will never make the body do something that it can't already do. And I was like, what does that mean? I literally stopped. I like paused the podcast and I was like, what? And then she kind of like skirted around it, just talking about how like we don't know, and which is I'm sure true, because this is a new research, but exactly what you said. Like I'm not quite sure about whether or not this is just supposed to jumpstart people, because. And I mean, you know, you're on this journey, so I'd love to hear like your thoughts on whether or not that feels like super daunting, but it sounds like it would be really scary and really, really expensive to be on it indefinitely. Like, yeah, just so expensive.
So I don't think for me it's an option to be on it indefinitely. But I also know that it's not an option for me to live in the chronic pain I'm in because I can't walk or be out of bed for that long. I can't work. I can't function. So that's not an option either.
When you were prescribed Ozempic, like did your doctor also say like, hey, you have to, in conjunction to this, you have to also make lifestyle changes?
Okay, this is a really great question to ask, and thank you for asking that. So I struggle with binge eating, hence the podcast we're on.
What?
And oh my God, she ordered a pizza tonight. And I am in group therapy for it, or it's group coaching, what we're calling it. And I do that about once a week right now. And I have a therapist I see once a week. And my doctor asked me that right away. And he knows that's something I've been working towards. And a few months ago, my binge eating really got out of control. Now I am on another medication called Topamax for binge eating, which was supposed to suppress my hunger, and it didn't work. So
And we overcame that very fast.
we did. We still keep that pill in the repertoire because I'm a little too scared to come off it because it can cause seizures, even though it's an anticonvulsant. Joke's on me.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
it's just
It's like
in there.
it's like those antidepressant commercials where it's just like, will make you happier. Side effects, you could want to kill yourself. Like,
Yeah,
and you're like, wow, okay, what a toss up. Great.
I'm like, that is the Paxil that I'm still on, because I'm too scared to come off that one too. But anyways, so yeah, so I am doing it in combination with therapy and binge eating. And this isn't a cure for me to my eating disorders, but also this is in collaboration because I have chronic back pain too. Um, I was having a lot of hard times being able to function, being able to walk, being able to get any kind of movement in. So it was a way to get my life back and to help me kind of get off some of the weight from my back on top of the therapies I'm doing. So it's all working together. I'm not looking for a magic pill here. And I don't want to be on it for the rest of my life either. It's just something that I need. I need a boost. I need something to help me while I'm in the process of helping myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear you. And that's so interesting when you said this isn't I can't exactly remember how you phrase it, but this isn't a magic pill. I just really want to honor your journey right now, because I think that word magic pill has been used against fat people and people who have been chronic dieters for so long. Like, I think that there has been there's always this like conversation about people saying like, you can't just have a magic pill. Like, this isn't going to magically work overnight. Like, you really have to put in the work. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that you would ever think that this would be a magic pill, because you're too smart for that. We all know that weight loss medication comes with a lot of context and a lot of nuance. And it comes with the fact that you can talk about body positivity online, and you also have bodily autonomy, and you also are dealing with your own fucking struggles. And no one should look at this like, oh, this person is now going to be magically thin and they've got this magic pill, because that is not true. And this might be supportive for somebody who is really struggling right now.
No, I completely agree with you. And you know what's interesting too? It's like how we label things, because I think about it. When I went on Topamax, I didn't know that that was technically considered for a diet pill. I knew it was to like help curb my cravings, but I didn't factor in like, oh, that could be used as like a diet suppression. I looked at it from a binge eating perspective. And then when I went on Wellbutrin, well, I was put on that because of depression and anxiety, not for a weight loss aid, even though that's what people are prescribed it for. But then when I looked at Ozempic and I specifically knew I was taking it for weight loss, that completely affected my entire body image, my identity, my work and body positivity, even though I had already been on these medications that are used for that. And including Vyvanse is used as a weight loss aid too for binge eating, I just read. And I freaking have ADHD and I've been on it for years. And I had no problems talking about it. So I also think it's like how we label things, how we stigmatize them, and the discussions we have around them.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to have a podcast topic talking about like fat people who are body positive, who want to lose weight, and all of the nuance that comes with that. Because that's just like such a massive topic and requires like a lot of dissection. But it's fair to say that Ozempic isn't going to be this miracle cure for people. No. And it is being abused by people who do not fucking need it. They don't.
100%.
Kim Kardashian doesn't need Ozempic, does not need to fit into Marilyn Monroe's dress. Elon Musk does not need Wegovy. You, good Lord, sir, you really do not need a weight loss drug. And these are people who I would say, like, it's not that they don't deserve to feel
Mm,
healthy and well or anything
mm,
like that. It's just that these people contribute to diet culture and this obsession that we have within this, that wellness always, always, always looks thinner than what you are now. Always.
yes.
And it's like you are contributing to a plethora of mental health problems and physical
Yep.
health problems that come from people trying and over trying to be thin. And it's, I just can't believe that all of these celebrities are using it for weight loss. And then you have fat people who have been given access to this chemical that can be really helpful and potentially supportive in their
Mhm.
journeys to find peace in their bodies and to figure out, like, okay, like, what's going on, maybe this can be helpful, maybe this can be supportive. And then you have diabetics who really need the
Yep.
medication as well. And I'm just like, of course celebrities are like hoarding this, like, of course the rich are like hoarding a diabetic drug, and that should be only used for like a small group of people. Of course.
No, I completely agree with you. I didn't know till we started listening to those podcasts today that Elon Musk was promoting Wegovy at all. Like he apparently
It's
gave it
mental.
like a 5-star like appraisal. I feel like that's not the right word.
It's mental. No, it's, and it, whereas you're looking at it not from a diet culture perspective, you're looking at it from a perspective of like, I need help. I feel at my wit's end. I need help. And we've talked about that before privately, of feeling
Yeah.
extremely exhausted, sad, desperate,
Mm-hmm.
scared. And maybe that will come out on like future episodes, but you have mentioned that before, and you're not taking this from the perspective of being like, oh, I'm so excited because I'm going to be just the thinnest version of myself.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, you have people on TikTok who are on it, and you have doctors who are saying there is no excuse now to not lose weight, as if
Yeah.
everybody should be fucking taking this. And you have doctors that are saying, here's the best diet plan for Wegovy. Like, you
What?
can't, that, uh, help, I'm glitching.
No, okay, honestly, you're so right. And it's extremely dangerous to put this kind of misinformation out there because I even found this on TikTok is there's so many people promoting how much of their life they've gotten back by losing weight on Ozempic, but they're not sharing the very real side of the health implications they're having and a lot of the side effects that come with it. Like when we were listening to the podcast today and they were talking about the potential for thyroid cancer, that was absolutely terrifying to really have to think about the implications that a drug that's only been on the market for 5 years, that you are really taking your health into a serious state of risk because like it
Mm.
can create pancreatitis, it can create problems in your gallbladder. They've seen people come in with these problems like and they're severe and the side effects are so terrible that you don't know at what point is the hospital. Like sometimes my stomach hurts so bad that it feels like someone just punched me in it. And
Mm.
I don't know if that's just me getting used to the medication because I keep saying the longer you're on it, the better it will get. And I keep thinking like, this is just part of the process. It will be worth it. If my back pain can get better, then I'll have more quality of life. It's worth it then. So I don't understand why thin people who are already upholding beauty standards, who don't need to lose any more weight, are risking their health to this degree. Like, how are they actually functioning? Because I can barely get out of bed some days attempting to do this.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm so sorry because those side effects sound horrible. I think that comes into the the perspective that what you see on social media is a lot of the time a fucking lie. Like, these people will say like, "Oh my god, I got my life back," but that's a video, and how much of that is actually true?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I
how
don't
much,
believe it.
yeah, are these people actually happy? Are these people actually loving their lives and loving their bodies? Or is it just a show.
Okay, you are so right. And I have to say, like, you have to be so careful, especially when, you know, you and I, we struggle with eating disorders. Ever since I started taking this injection every single day, I body check at least 100 times.
Mm,
Because those behaviors, if you're not in therapy and you're not trying to get proper treatment, they don't go away. Like you're still engaging in diet culture, you're still promoting it, even if you're trying to be body positive, even if you're trying to promote body love, body acceptance, they never go away when you live in this society that's so embedded with it.
mm. I guess it kind of like brings back, you have to be extremely hyper aware of how
Mm-hmm.
this could mentally put you down the path of being super obsessed with weight loss.
100%. Like every time I touch my body in that way, like I remember when you and I were on the road trip and you were like, Kayla, stop body checking. And I've had to
Mm,
have that conversation with my therapist. And they're like, every time you do it, you have to say body checking. So it's like you have that constant, idea that like that's not a healthy behavior and it's unconscious and you need to stop it. You know, I know that I'm doing it.
mhm,
So that way you can try, but I feel like it's really hard not to slip into diet culture, even when you're trying to do it for the right reasons, for your
mm.
what you think are the right reasons for you. Oh, it's so complicated. It's so complicated.
It really is. And that's why it's never, for people who have had eating disorders, it's never just as easy as like, oh, just eat less. Oh, just eat less, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, you moron? Just don't order the pizza. It's like people don't realize there are layers of complexity to this. It's everything from like mobility to mental health to trauma
Yep.
to habits to environment to genetics. Like there are so many layers to this, and
Hmm.
I think like hearing more about your story and why you chose Ozempic is also like creating a compassionate light around fat people who are choosing to do that. I think like it created compassion and awareness for me. Not that I didn't have that before, but just I get to enter into that space of knowledge of people who are using Ozempic for weight loss are a lot of the time doing it out of a place of like being scared and being extremely desperate. And because of the price and because of the side effects, like you have to be desperate for it, unless
Yeah.
you're Kim Kardashian, in which case you just get everything handed to you on a silver platter.
No, Kenzie, you're so right. And thank you for saying that piece about like compassion, because that's the one thing I did not hear in any of the research that we did. There was no compassion for the desperation that people are in to have to choose between the financial burden that I don't understand how people are affording this, including myself, the financial burden to do this, the emotional, the physical burden. But on top of that, this is pretty much a last resort before stomach amputation surgery, which is gastric sleeve surgery.
I love
So
that you
it's
called
like
it what it is. You're like, yeah, let's call it what it's.
100%.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got to be really desperate to go to this extreme at that point. So thank you for bringing up that point about compassion, because I don't think we have that anymore, especially when it comes to fat people.
No, definitely. And especially in our body positive spaces online, I think that we can get so judgmental and so critical. Like, if you're fat, then you have to be fat forever. If you're fat, then you have to be fat forever and you have to own it and you have to love it, or you have to be neutral to it. And if you're not, then you're not doing the work and you have internalized fat phobia and you have
Yep.
internalized diet culture. Oh God, just
Oh my God.
please
Okay,
let
on
me
that
run
note,
away.
I have to say it. I have to say it. I was that angry person, and that's why I feel like such a hypocrite for even doing this. You are right. In the body positive space, like you do not bend to diet culture ever, because that is fat phobia. And yes, people have body autonomy, and if you promote diet culture in any way, you are a failure. And like I used to feel hatred for people who intentionally lost weight, so I cannot even fucking believe I
Mm.
am on a weight loss medication. I'm having this like I'm like, I'm not here anymore. Bye.
You just like go to your account and you're like, delete, and just like fade into the darkness of life.
The old Kayla's gone.
I am thinking about a story that was shared with me on my Iceland trip, and it's one that I shared with you. There is this extremely, extremely lovely woman. I won't share her name just for privacy, but I believe she's in her 40s, and her and I and another member of our group, we decided to stay back from this hike. It was such a glorious, amazing honoring of our bodies. It was like the three of us were like, we're done. We don't want to go any further. And we stayed back, and it was so amazing. And we had what was a really powerful, I would say, like life-changing conversation. Just these two women like really opened up about their lives and just gave me just this wealth of information that I had been able to reflect on for the last like 4 months. And we were talking about how sometimes our bodies hurt.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this in a very neutral way, not in a way of like hating our bodies or anything. It was just kind of very matter of fact. And this woman ended up saying to me at some point in the conversation that she loves the idea of body positivity, but she looks at the community and she sees that everybody who's promoting body positivity who is fat is under the age of 40. And she looks at me dead in the face and she says, try being the size that you are in your late 40s. Just try it. Try being middle-aged and being fat. And she says, it is vastly different than when you're in your 20s and 30s. And she says, it's not a fucking game. And it's not about losing weight because you want to be more beautiful and because you want to be more thin. But she said, your body doesn't work the same way.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And that's not to say that like, oh my God, every fat person now has to like lose weight before they're 40 or anything like that. I don't mean that. I just mean that that is a big thing to consider, that we're a lot of young people who are going around saying like, don't ever lose weight. Like not, I guess nobody is literally saying don't ever lose weight. Like I don't want to come across.
Well, we kind of are.
But
we kind of are. Don't intentionally fucking lose weight.
Yeah, like I think that there is so much hatred around intentional weight loss to the point that people get so confused when they know that that is a direct causation of certain health ailments, and or that could be an alleviation, a direct alleviation of certain health ailments, and they don't know how to go about it in a way that makes sense to them, which will lead me into another topic that we'll have to discuss another time.
Kenzie,
sorry
this
guys,
is so spicy.
Intuitive eating, it's just like that doesn't work for everybody.
I'm just I literally have the book underneath my bed. I'm like, yeah, it's hard.
I don't know. I've been trying to practice it for years now, and I'm like, what? What? People are like, just intuitively eat. I'm like, I want pizza all the time. And they're like, yeah, just eat that. And then eventually you won't want to eat that. And you're like, what?
I don't get it.
I've been eating that since I was 7. You'd think I would have had the craving satisfied by now, but I haven't.
And they keep saying like, you have to correct it first to then intuitively, know your signals. And I'm like, but how do you ever correct it when you have an eating disorder?
I just think that, again, kind of coming back to the fact that it's extremely complicated and incredibly nuanced, people who choose weight loss drugs are not choosing it because they just want to be thin and they just want social validation. Some people feel like they're at the end of their rope and that they're strangers in their own body and that they don't know what to do. And until we figure out better systems of support, maybe this is what a person has.
Kenzie, you're so beautiful. Like the way you say, like, strangers in their own body better systems of support. I'm just like, this girl is so smart.
Stop.
Like, how am I here with you? Like, you're just so intelligent.
Oh, I'm going to block and delete you. I love you
I
so
know,
much.
I love you so much. Send me TikToks. Every time you bring up a new topic too, I'm like, let's go. Next one now.
I know. Well, this is what the podcast is about, is like taking these like really intense topics and discussing them, but that happens to be within other like other streams of conversations that we need to be having, because it is all interconnected and woven into this bigger story.
I agree, but honestly, you're just so calming at the
Oh my
same
God.
time. The way
Oh
that you
my
talk,
God.
I feel like
You're
I'm
in love with
smoking a
me.
joint. Like, I'm
You're
just like,
just
yes,
ask-
other streams.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm here for it. Like, your voice is mesmerizing. By the way, guys, when I went to go pick Kenzie up from the airport, she caught me listening to her podcast.
Oh my
I turned the
God.
car on and it was
Kayla.
Kenzie's podcast. How creepy. But her
You're the
voice,
best.
it's so mesmerizing. Don't you guys
Stop.
agree? Like, sound off below. I don't even know if there's a comment section.
Sound off below. Like, we're not on YouTube Live. Okay, guys. So sound off in the live stream that we're not having right now.
Heart, ding, ding, ding.
Kayla. This is what happened. Kayla eventually starts getting vulnerable, and then what she does is she spews out compliments because she doesn't know how to sit and just sit in the feelings that she's having. She's just like, oh, okay, well, you're really amazing.
How dare you call me out like that?
Kayla, this episode has been super lovely to record with you. And I just really appreciate your willingness to get super fucking honest and truthful with our community, with what's going on in your life and how you've been experiencing Ozempic and how you're still showing up for the body positivity community, even though you have chosen to have this support right now. I'm really, really, really impressed. And I just feel so honored to have heard your story.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the space to be able to share it, to have these kind of safe conversations, because there isn't always the space to be able to do that and having that kind of grace. I'm looking forward to discussing a lot of these topics too that we've had today. And I can't wait for this podcast. Like, let's
so excited.
do this.
I'm so excited. Okay.
I'm excited
Thank you,
too.
everyone,
Okay,
for tuning in. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.